Hey everyone, and welcome to the Number Two Septic Podcast. Today I have Thomas Wayne, Operations Manager of Burleson Septic Cleaning. And this is the Number Two Septic Podcast, but he has Welcome to the Shit Show behind him. And so we're in the right place together. Very excited to have Thomas on. So Thomas, tell us a little bit about your company and your position in there, and sort of how did you get started being the operations manager at Burleson Septic?
Okay, well, this company, Burleson Septic Cleaning, has been around 54 years. So it started in 1972 with the owner's late husband's father. They just kind of got in the business, started doing a little bit of septic. Back then it was all conventionals. So they just started kind of doing cleaning around here in the Burleson area. And over time, it just started growing. More people started moving into the area. Of course, more septic, and back then, this was still country.
Yes.
The city hadn't expanded. And now with the expansion, and it's still expanding, they just started kind of doing little by little. And people started trusting them. And they were doing a good job. So it just kind of built over time with their trust and doing a good job. I don't think they really expected to get to where it was, but here we are today, 54 years later, and we're doing a lot more things than we used to, especially with aerobics and everything that are coming in to play nowadays. I came in about 6 years ago, was a driver. I came from the oil field, was an operations manager for a big company out there. Got in here, there was a lot of family that worked here, a lot of friends, and I got here and I could see that this company had a lot more potential than what it was doing. And I think that was because we had people that worked and knew what they were doing. But with family, I know there's a lot of companies out there that could have family and it works. It just didn't work here. And I drove for 5 years pretty much. And then, I had another family member come in and we kind of changed little things, and then he ended up leaving, and she's like, look, I need somebody to run the business. And I had a vision of where we could go. We always just been in a cleaning company for those 54 years. Well, with those years going by, watching all these septics that we cleaned, you could see how these people installed septics. And they're horrible. I mean, they just cut corners. And some of these maintenance companies were just coming out. You come out, they test one thing and they leave. They don't test the whole tank. They're not checking out the whole tank. So we decided after so long that we needed to evolve and start doing everything, because you get a customer that calls you and we can only clean. Now we've got to call somebody else to come in and fix it. So we wanted to be that one-stop company where we can fix everything, from if it starts with the septic with the cleanouts all the way to the last sprinkler. We want to be able to do it. And then we said, hey, we should be able to install too. So I brought some people in to be able to do that. We've got a good crew. Your employees are the ones that make or break a company.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
We've got, the family's pretty much all gone. They've started their own thing. We've got outsiders coming in that we've brought in here, and it's just it's been really good. I really enjoy this business. I didn't think when I came out of the oil field that I come into it and thinking, oh my God, I'm gonna do septic, and I was like, all right, I'll just do it for a little bit till I find something back in the oil field again. Well, I just stayed and I've been here, and it's something different. It's fun. You get to see something new every day. It's a challenge, and you learn. You get to meet a lot of new people. You get to see different things every day. So it's been eye-opening. I didn't really understand septic and how it worked and how important it is, not only for not to get backed up for people's home, but for the environment. And when things are working correctly, you have to have it. It's just not, people say septic. I don't like using the word septic. I use it as a personal wastewater treatment plant in the back of your home. So it makes it a little bit bigger than just septic, because septic is overused and people, oh, it's just a septic, or just like people say, I'm sorry. Sometimes it's just a word that's overused,
Right.
and so you don't really, it's got a deeper meaning to that. So if you really kind of approach the customer and let them know, hey, you've got a personal wastewater treatment plant in the back of your home, we've got to take care of this so we don't have environmental problems, they start to understand that better. So, with this, we've like I said, 54 years. We're evolving. We're doing a lot of different things, and it's really fun. I really enjoy it. I love it.
So a question I have for you that came up is I have a lot of businesses that I've worked with that I know are in a similar position where they're just doing pumping. And they don't have the maintenance, they don't have the installation. So can you talk to us a little bit more about what that process was like for you as the operations go-to guy to bring that in? Is that something that you had to go get your license yourself and then bring people in, or were you able to bring people in without getting your license? Kind of talk through the logistics of how you did that.
It is a struggle. You got to think the people that go get their license, it takes 3 years for them to get their install license, and then they've got to take their basic maintenance provider and their advanced maintenance provider. Most people that have that either have their own companies or work for somebody already, and they're pretty loyal for them because they have that license. So we had looked for over a year, year and a half, trying to bring somebody in and try to get us to where we needed to go. And it just took forever to try to find that. And then I was out cleaning the system one day, and I was at a job in Burleson, and I met a young man. He was out there fixing to do install. And I was like, hey, y'all do installs. We'd love to use you. Let me check out your work. They did a good job. So started talking to this kid. His name's Jordan, and he had been doing it for 10 years. And we just kept on talking and talking. Well, they started having a little bit of issues with his company. And I was like, hey, if you want to come over here, help us out, we're going to grow this. And he came over here, and it's just taken off. And then after that, it seemed like the dominoes just started kind of falling into place. I found one of his brother-in-law is an RS, a registered sanitarian.
Okay.
So I brought him in. So, and he's helping us with service now. And then I had another company, a guy that worked for a bigger company that was in our area for 25 years. He just wanted to change.
Yeah.
So he's come in. So now, it just things just fell in place, but it took a long time. Trying to get on websites, trying to find people and that have their provider license. It's really, really, really tough to find somebody that doesn't work for somebody or that's not going to start their own business. So it was a difficult process, but once we got it in, it's been a lot smoother. But you just have to be patient. Don't rush things. Things will fall into place, especially if you're doing the right thing, if you're doing everything you're supposed to. I believe a lot about the karma. I just do. It's just if you're a good person, you're treating the customer right, you're doing the right things, things will fall in place. It just takes time. Just be patient.
And it sounds like getting connected with people in the wastewater community was really the key for you rather than just looking online.
Yes, it is. And that's where a lot of them are, because you just don't know. A lot of these companies have had people, I've seen people come and go in companies, and we've had people leave here and then they'll go to another company and take the knowledge they got here and leave, or somebody's come in from another company here and brought their knowledge, So it's difficult, but it can be done. Like I said, you just got to be patient. The guys that we have here, a lot of them had never done septic before, especially, and training can be very difficult. And it's a lot of companies, you just don't understand that it's just not going out there putting a hose in a tank and just pumping it and then leaving. It's explaining and why is there so much sludge in these tanks? Why is this doing this? Why is this tank got so much and this one doesn't? Why is there fallback? You've got a lot of, there's so many different things. And I've been here 6 years and I'm still learning something new every day. And it's just a transformation. You just have to be open-minded, look outside the box to be able to keep going and growing. And, we want to grow. We want to keep bringing people in. The atmosphere, though, too, is with your company. We are very open here. We're very transparent. We talk to the guys every morning. We have meetings. Everybody gets along. We've got good vibration here. Everybody's happy. There's no drama, which with the family a long time ago, it seemed like there was always drama, but there's not that here. We're going to go out there. We're going to do the best we can. Are we going to make mistakes? We are. It's just part of it. But at the same time, we can fix those mistakes. And there's no reason I'm not the type of person that just gets mad or yell, hey, let's just call me if we make a mistake. Hey, let's go get it fixed. It's okay. And we could talk to the customer. Say, hey, we made a mistake. We messed up. Hey, we're going to take care of this. So that's where it's kind of evolved. We're everybody here is happy to be here. They want to be here. They can come in. They talked about other jobs they've had before, didn't want to get up and go to work the next day. But everybody here comes in every day and ready to work, and ready to learn. And then what we're trying to do is trying to teach everybody from the office even up to the guys out there. My office girls know a lot of shit, and they know a lot about it because we're going to explain and we take them to jobs so they can see it firsthand. You can have an office personnel. The thing about with this is that when you have somebody calling in, the first impression, the first thing is that phone call.
Yeah.
And if you have somebody in the office that doesn't know what they're talking about and they're going to have to call everybody to try to figure out, that could be complicated. And that makes customers think, well, do they even know what they're doing? With these training these girls, and I even got them going to get signed up. They're going to go take their basic maintenance provider license too, just to have it, just to learn. Because we want everybody here to be professional, and our guys are professional. We're trying to teach everybody. We don't mind spending the money to get them classes so they know a lot more, because we want to be able to help any person with their septic needs, no matter what it is. And it's a lot easier when your guys out in the field really know what they're talking about. They're just not pumping and going, which a lot of these other companies do, and we're just not that way.
Yeah. And it sounds like part of attracting that talent that you were looking for so you could become full service has a lot to do with company culture and being an environment where people want to go to work, because the job can look the same in many different companies, but I think most people who have worked enough time have experienced a bad boss before, or a bad situation, or bad management, and it can drain your soul. Really, it
Yeah.
can. So I think that just really speaks to how you guys have been successfully growing. And you talked about the team meetings, you talked about not having family involved, having low drama, about training. What other wisdom can you give everyone listening about what they can do to help build that company culture?
Understand that these guys come to work, they had families at home. They have their own issues at home. You don't know what they're going through. They're coming here, and a lot of people will bring stuff kind of with them. And we talk to the guys, just try to leave it at the gate. If you have an issue, if there's something that's important, hey, family comes first. Come talk to me. If you need to go somewhere, we'll figure it out. Understand that this is just, it's a business, okay? But you've got people in here that have a lot of other things going on around them. And
Yeah.
it just can't be that personal. You've got to be here. You're late, or just not that way. Guys, you're grown men, you're grown women. You know what to do. I don't have to micromanage. There are things, like you said, that they may not, will have questions on, or may do something wrong, but we'll fix it. So having that culture and being able to, you don't have to you're not going to come into work and somebody's going to be over your back watching every step you take. We're not watching you on, we have Life 360, just kind of see where the trucks are at the same time. We're not sitting there just watching them. They don't have to worry about somebody just constantly over their shoulder watching them. They don't need that. These are grown adults. They know what they need to do. And if it's somebody you have in here that isn't a grown adult, that doesn't know what to do, then you have to talk to them and say, hey, we're going to have to figure this out. And you give them a chance to hopefully grow into that person, what you need here. And sometimes it just takes a lot longer. Sometimes it takes longer for these guys to learn. Some guys can learn something in 2 months, and it may take 4 months for these other guys to learn. So you just have to be patient. It's a process. Not everybody learns the same. So I go into it knowing, hey, some people are slow at learning this, but they're a lot better over here at this job. So just being patient, taking the time, knowing that other people have other things going on in their life, just trying to be a good person. You don't have to be, I don't consider myself as a boss. I consider myself a leader. There's nothing that these guys can go out and do that I won't go do myself, then I won't show them. I want them to grow as a person, but grow with this company. And that's just how we've kind of built our thing here at this culture here, is just, we're just trying to be better people all together. And if you're a better person and you're having fun at your job, then you can go home at the end of the day, even though you're tired, and then you're bringing that positive energy to your family.
Wow.
I've had instances where you're aggravated at work. You didn't even want to come to work to begin with. And then you get off work, and then you may not seem like you're not taking it out on your family, but you're not giving them that happiness and that good vibe that you would have if you had a good day at work. I have good days every day. Am I going to have issues at work? Yes, it's just part of it. It's just part of life, but you're going to get over them. Just figure out a way to handle it. And that helps with the guys in here and the girls, that they just understand, they know that at the end of the day, everything's going to be all right. Walk out that gate after you're done with your job, go home and take care of your family.
Yeah. It sounds like it's about treating people with respect, and also
Oh,
just a culture of humility where everyone makes mistakes. And as long as we're all willing to grow, right? Those mistakes are acceptable as long as we learn from them and we're growing from them, and the world's not ending if someone makes a mistake. So talk to me a little bit about what it's like when you bring in a new guy. About the first 4 months, what does your training process look like? What have you found has been more successful in helping the training stick and working with that person?
Well, they come in, we'll put them with an experienced guy, and let them run for 2, 3 months. Just really depending on how I try to stay ahead of the game where I don't have to bring somebody in and throw them to the wolves right off the bat. You've got to kind of look, and that's why being open with your employees and talking to them where they'll be open with you. If they're unsatisfied or unhappy about it, they'll come to me and talk to me and we can figure something out. You get to a point where they're unsatisfied or something, you don't know nothing about it, then they quit on you, then it kind of puts you in a strain. Now I've got to get somebody in here. We've always got an extra person. So if someone gets sick, if somebody has surgery or something, we're always taken care of. Now, when if you lost 2 people, then I don't mind. I will go get in a truck. I can do everything they can do. I've gotten to be able to get out of it just a little bit, but I don't mind getting in there. I don't mind. I work every Monday through Saturday, every week. I'm just here, because I'm trying to build this to where it really needs to be. So you got to put in the work, and I don't mind doing it. But the guys we have here don't mind doing it either. But getting them in the truck with an experienced person, showing them different things. I'll get new jobs that come in. So I'm not going to send them to the same job. I'm going to send them to a conventional at 1.5 uncovered or 2.5 uncovered. Then we're going to do a 1.5 covered, then a 2.5 covered. Then we'll go to a new water system, then a southern aerobic system, and then an Aries. So they get to see all these. There's so many aerobic systems out there, and a lot of these before 2016, they didn't put risers on the trash tank. So you have to actually find that port into that tank and dig. So it's about training them on where to dig, where to find it. So it's a long process, because there's times where I get out and some of these older clear streams, they're not where you think they are. They're in a different spot. So you do a lot of digging. And after digging in the summertime for when it's 110 degrees, you start learning where these things at are pretty quick, so you don't have to dig so much. But you still have to dig. So teaching these guys, getting them with good trainers, and they come in here, they have questions. I'm always open. My phone is always open to them at nighttime. I said, if y'all have a question, call me, because you can get at home and you don't think about it during the day. Call me at night. Hey, I'm always open. It doesn't matter if it's 2 o'clock in the morning, you got a question, call me. I'll get up, I'll answer it. Let's figure this out together.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit more. I know you said that when you first came in, it was a family run business and family friend. And that's pretty much have had a turnover, almost complete turnover of that, which sounds like it's been a lot healthier. But there are a lot of people who listen who are in family businesses and they don't necessarily want a complete turnover. But just from your perspective, what are some things that are potential pitfalls to having a family run business that if people can be really aware of and work through, they'll be at a better place?
I think it's maturity on both sides of the ownership, respect. You got to understand, that's maybe my aunt or my father or this son, but they are still above me, and I have to respect that. And it's their decision on what goes on here. A lot of the family that were here just try to do kind of their own thing, and without really going to the owner and explaining to her. And it seemed like they got comfortable to where they didn't seem like they wanted to grow. They just wanted to kind of keep doing the same thing, getting that paycheck at the end of the week, instead of actually putting everything into it and helping the business grow. So it's just being real comfortable. But that's just not every family. That's some families are really close and they're there to help. I know a company that we're working with right now, and we'll explain that here a little bit. It's called SeptiLink, and they're a family-owned business. It's 24/7 septic monitoring, which we're into now. Up here, we're the only dealer here in North Texas, so you can actually kind of see. We can watch someone's septic from here in the office before it has a tragic event. But just family, so it just really depends on the family, the condition that you have here. If y'all have good people that want to grow with you, or those people that are there, it and you'll know it. They just know it. And whether they want to do it or not because they feel bad or don't want to hurt the other family member, sometimes you just have to cut it off. It's a business. It's not personal. Just always remember this is a business, and it's so hard for people to not put personal and business together. You have to separate it, because it can hurt you. So just always remember, it's just a business decision. This is not a personal decision. And that's where family comes in. That's where it makes it a lot harder. But out with outsiders and everybody else that's not family, it's a little bit easier, but at the same time, like I said, we don't have any drama here, so we don't really have to worry about it.
Yeah, that's great. Well, let's jump into talking about the monitoring system that you have. I've seen some of these demoed at the TAWA conference a couple months ago, so I'd love to hear more about it. Tell us, what you have going on, how it's changed operations for you, how it's changed your customer experience. Tell us all the things.
So I went to the conference down there in Waco. And kind of walked around, and I seen Clint. His name's Clint Munt, him and Joy, his wife, and they run Septic. And I just kind of saw it, and I was looking at their model, and I just was thinking, this is the future. Technology's coming, no matter what. It's coming. It's here, and it's only going to get more. So what we've seen in the past is people are reactive instead of proactive. So they react to that red light and call us, hey, I have a problem. With this system, you're proactive. Now, I've got it on my phone. We have it all on our emails. Even the customer has it on his phone. This will let us know, all right, you have an overcurrent on your pump. All right, your pump's running too long. There's a high water alarm on there. Your PSI on your aerator's only blowing this much. So it notifies us right then. It notifies us when the door is open. So we'd install these. So it's pretty much like an x-ray machine. It's going to tell us everything we need to know about your septic. And then it breaks down to a graph. So we can, after a little bit, we can see what normal is for the customer. And then if something gets wrapped around the pump or something's not working right, maybe there's a float going out, it'll show us the difference in this graph. So now, like I said, instead of we will call, if we get something to come in on our phone, we call the customer and saying, hey, we see this, we're going to come out and look at it, make sure everything's okay. So like I said, it's gone from reactive to proactive. And the people that run this company are great. Joy and Clint are wonderful people. He used to work for Kubota a long time ago in corporate, and him and his son they're just advanced in technology. And they put this together, and it's just been wonderful. And the customers are really enjoying it. So it's something that we're pushing. When we started kind of doing installs, we were just going to do kind of the SeptiLink maintenance program, a maintenance agreement, because a lot of people out there, a lot of these counties you have to have them. When we kind of started with that, it's like, hey, we've kind of shot it out, put it out there. We've never done maintenance, so a lot of our customers, less than 1% of our customers know that we do everything now. They always just think of us as a cleaning company. Oh. So this has been, it's kind of got, it's fresh in a way, but it's also a struggle because I can't call all our maintenance our customers that have done maintenance with this because they've already had a maintenance provider. So all the customers that do call us, we just give them the opportunity. Hey, here's SepticLink. Okay. And it's not for everybody. It's just one of those things. Some people don't want to deal with it. I don't care. It's just septic. But a lot of people are like, hey, out of sight, out of mind. I don't have to worry about it. And that's where we're going with this. Nobody wants to mess with their septic. Some people try to hide their septic in the backyard. It's one of those things nobody wants to deal with. And with this system, you can put it out of your mind. Let us handle it. We'll take care of everything. We're watching it for you 24/7. We'll be able to know before that pump goes out and then you're backed up in the house on the weekend during Memorial Day or getting on your white carpet after you flush the toilet. We'll be able to catch that, fix it before you have that issue now. Okay. So it is great. I love it. And when I saw it there at the conference, I was like, this is just something that we have to go to. And he said, well, we don't have a North Texas dealer. I was like, well, we're in. Well, I want to be that first person. I want to be that because it's going to this. These old school maintenance providers, and I saw a lot of them there that I knew. I just walked by. They're doing the same thing they did 20 years ago. Right. They're not evolving. They're not changing. And you have to. This is an evolving environment, evolving business. Back in the day, it all used to be conventionals. Now everything's really going to aerobic. And then drip systems with half pumps in it too. So it's not that old school, well, it's out of sight, out of mind. It's in the ground. And you don't have to worry about it. We've got a lot of things to worry about now. We've got to worry about floats. We've got to worry about pumps. We've got to worry about sprinklers. We've got to worry about aerators, control panels. Does it have power to it? There's a lot more things involved into it. Now with this system, it tells us everything. So like I said, we can catch it before you have an issue. And I think that's important to the customer to know. Also, same thing. They have it on their phone. And say a maintenance provider comes in, your aerator's out. It may not be out. Well, this actually will tell the customer too, your aerator is only pushing this much PSI. It needs to be here. Hey, your aerator's going out. Now you have trust with your customer. So we're both seeing the same thing, because a lot of customers that we go and see, they're not at home, they're at work. We're going to their house when
Right.
they're not there. They don't know about septic. So they're trusting the company to change it out for them. And those things get expensive, and you want that you want that trust between you and the customer. And
Yeah.
this brings it. And we can keep putting it out there. And we have a lot of trust with our customers. And like I said, we've been around 54 years. We've built over trust. We've built word of mouth for a very long time. And word of mouth is still, I don't care what you put on Facebook,
Yeah.
what you put on advertisement. Word of mouth is the best advertisement of anything. And it has been, it's still building that now. We still advertise and put it out there, but it just takes one customer to tell their family or their friend, and it just dominoes. And if you can continue that and just have a good loyal base, take care of your customer, they're going to call. Plus with the neighborhood app, who do you use? Burleson Septic
Yes.
Cleaning. It just
Yeah.
goes a long way. So with this SeptiLink, we're happy about it. We're starting to put in quite a bit of them, and we've got a lot more ordered, and we're moving with the future, and we're excited about it.
I think what you described is a tension with sort of the old way of doing things in the septic community and the new way. And it's not just with this moderning, but I do think that there's sort of the old school, new school sort of interesting divide that I've watched happen. And, some are just getting closer to retirement and they don't want to learn those things, and that's okay. And they just sort of want to finish out. Some are passing it down to the younger generation who does understand the importance of technology, and they're running with it. And then we have also people coming in from outside of the industry into it that also understand the importance. And so I love that you guys are getting on top of it. You're not being reactive and waiting till you're the last person who has it, but you're blazing a trail, which is really neat. So are you putting those on when you're installing a new system, or can you put one on if a customer doesn't have one but they already have a system in place and you just put it in the control box? Is that kind of how that works?
So it connects. This is the box right here. So you'll have your control panel there. This will just connect straight to the control panel that you already have. So it's a really easy install, and it connects to that, and everything runs through that. So you don't have to change anything. And we are putting them on new installs. And of course, it goes with their 2-year contract. And it's important to kind of get those on those brand new installs so people have it, get used to it. It's a membership. That is, so you pay a yearly thing, a yearly amount. And then, like you said, you're a member now. It's pretty much comes out to a monthly fee. And then you sit back and relax and not have to worry about it. And then we'll let you know. Because when we get out there, normally we do our sludge judging and testing. How we got into this, and this is the thing about older maintenance companies. We've seen it. We go to so many, and we look on the panel box. They were there a week ago, and there's 4 or 5 things wrong with the system. So it's like, are they even getting out of the vehicle? Are they getting out and just signing the number? And what we're finding out is, even through class, they said, well, all you got to do is go over there, get a sludge judge the pump tank, and then go. And then you can let them know. That's not right. The pump tank's not the only thing with the system. You got the trash tank. We went to one, I went personally to one where they were just there 2 weeks ago. And if they would have actually opened up the trash tank, they would have seen the bacteria, and the toilet paper was so thick, it was already over the inlet line. Within 2 weeks, they were backed up. And all they had to do is open that other tank, and they're not doing that. So with us, we're trying to change the game. We're trying to change that old school mentality. This is not just what you have to check. You have to check the same thing. When we go out pumping, we're giving the customer, with our pumping price, we're giving the customer a full inspection while we're there. We're checking your control panel. We're checking your aerator, your filter. And, we're checking your pump, your floats, your sprinklers. We're checking your diffusers inside the aerator. We're checking everything while we're there, pumping it. Why wouldn't I do that? I want to make sure your system's right. And if you have something wrong, we'll talk to the customer. Hey, to get up to code or to get this fixed, you don't have issues. Let's get this fixed now. So it's been a lot better. So that's something that we really push, is say, hey, we're not just a pumping company. We're a cleaning company, but we're also going to give you an inspection to make sure you don't have any problems. Now, can something happen 2 weeks later? It's just one of those things. That's where the SeptiLink comes in too. You go out 3 times a year, every 4 months. Well, That's a long time between visits, and
Yeah.
something usually happens in between there. Well, this Septilink's going to catch that. So you don't have that 4 month period where no one's looking at your system at all, because the customer's not going out there and doing it. They don't want
Yeah.
to have to deal with it. You're paying a maintenance contract for somebody to come out there and check your system. Well, a lot of things don't get seen, they don't get caught. I think maintenance providers also, and I hate to say this, and I hate to take my gloves off and throw anybody in the bus, but maintenance providers that don't do cleaning, they do repairs. They go off if your system fails. We go to so many that they've needed to be cleaned 2 years, 3 years earlier. Well, they're not with $250 to $300 maintenance a year agreements. They don't make any money off that. What do they make the money off of? They make money off repairs. So I'm not a cleaning company. So guess what? I'm not making any money off that. I'm going to make money if your aerator goes out. I'm going to make money if your pump goes out, if something goes wrong, because I'm your maintenance company. We're trying to change that. We don't want issues. We want to fix issues before then. We're going to check everything. That's just not how we go. We're a cleaning company first, but we also do maintenance. We also do repairs. We also do installs. We're that cleaning company. We want to make sure your system's clean. The game has changed with the aerobic systems, and especially since COVID. When COVID came around, people were starting to put antibacterial soaps, using bleach more. 9 out of 10 systems, bacteria is dead. It's just a fact. All the bacteria is dead in the systems. The scum layers are so high up in the trash tank. You get in there and it's like, oh my gosh, all your bacteria is dead. And it's because of what they're using in their household. And that's the lessons we try to give them. Medicine, plant medicines, antibacterial soaps, bleaches, a lot of things that they use will kill bacteria. And a lot of people don't understand that. They come from the city and they just think, hey, you can flush anything down. And it's just not that way. We have to have bacteria in these systems for that system to work properly. So we try to explain to the customer, hey, this is what you need to do, what not to do. And then we can kind of tell them too, I can look in each tank and tell what sludge level of what they're doing. If all the sludge is in the back of the pump, that means it's hydraulic overload. So they're using a lot of water at one time. I can tell. I guess you do 7 or 8 loads of laundry on Saturday, don't you? Yeah, we've got 3 kids. We try to do it all at once. Well, guess what? That pushes your scum layer all the way to the back to the pump. Pumps off the ground 6 inches or so. That sludge layer gets in that pump and starts burning them out. So we tell people, hey, spread out your laundry, spread out water usage. Try not to use all of it at one time. So that really helps the customer. If you see a lot of you can go into some tanks, you can actually see the bacteria in there, and there's hardly a scum layer. Things are working. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it. So you just got to talk to them, explain to the customer. If you see things that aren't wrong, try to tell them, hey, this is what we want to fix it. We're not the type of person, we want to tell you how to fix it. We don't want your system failing. We don't. We want your system to work good. And we're going to do everything to help you make sure that it does work good. So like these old school guys, like I said, these maintenance companies that have been doing the same thing for 20 years, they haven't changed a bit. It's the same thing. And things are evolving, and they're not understanding that. They're just going to keep doing the same thing, and we don't want to be that same people. What also too, bacteria wise, back in the day, people's bacteria health, they used to be able to go 10 years, a long time ago. They used to be able to go a lot longer. Our gut bacteria is not as healthy as it used to be because of processed foods. So now we're putting unhealthy bacteria in this tank and expecting them to eat 4-ply toilet paper, all the crap, everything else they put in there. It cannot keep up. It just can't do its job. And then you've got 4 or 5 or 6 people on the system. Now, why do we got to get it cleaned so much? Well, you've got 6 people on a 500 gallon per day system. You have to get it cleaned more. So there's so many things you have to look at. And I don't think they're opening that avenue to look at it. They're just kind of, in that box. And we've got to get outside the box and look at this. Like I said, it's a wastewater treatment plant. We've got to be very technical to help these people maintain their systems. It just can't be something quick.
Mm-hmm. What I've really heard from you is that I think there's a lot of people in this world, we've all experienced them, who it's their job in life is just to stay comfortable and to do the least amount of work possible to still get a paycheck. That's their whole mindset. And I think what I'm hearing from you that's really inspiring, that I hope a lot of the listeners take away, is that you have that mindset of, we're not here just to do the least amount of work possible. We're here really to help the customer. And, when you're a maintenance provider and you're not doing any of that cleaning, and so you're only making money on repairs, you're only suggesting solutions that you can make money off of, what you're doing is you're putting your bottom line first and not really treating the customer well. And I do think that, at the end of the day, if we treat, it's kind of like the golden rule, we treat people how we would want to be treated, that really comes back around and it affects that word of mouth that you're talking about, those referrals, and that translates to online. People are in these Facebook groups asking, the moms groups. A lot of times it's the women who end up with these household problems and they're making the phone call. So they're going to check with their friends, their Facebook group. They're going to check online reviews. And so even that all ties into the word of mouth that you really can't, there's no shortcut to doing a great job with people.
Yeah, there's no shortcut. You've got to go to these people. A lot of these people or women are home alone. Okay. Their husbands are at work, or some people are not even there, but you've got to go in, and we're not the type of company. All our guys are completely dressed, shirt tucked in, belt,
Yep.
and it's an impression. We don't want to be, for some reason, back in the day, I used to think septic. Oh my God, is this guy going to come in shorts and just, dirty socks, and he's going to be some guy that just looks horrible. And I think some people have that idea of septic, but we're professionals, and I know there's a lot of other companies that are, but we're going to your home. We're knocking on the door, and I make sure guys look. And when you knock on the door, make sure you stand 20 feet away, because there may be a woman at home. Let her have the opportunity to shut the door on you if she wants to. But if she wants to approach you, hey, I'm Thomas with Burleson Septic. How you doing? Let's check the system. And she comes out there. Hey, we go out there, check the system. We love for the customers to be out there with us. I want to show you how your system works. Give me the opportunity. This is your system. I'm not there all the time. Let me show you how this works and what you can do. And we love it when they get out there. It doesn't bother us if somebody wants to stand over a shoulder. Please come along. I'm going to show you how we do this, how we clean it, what we do, what we specialize in. I love it. I love the interaction with customers, and it kind of does build that trust that they can see what's going on. And then a lot of times, if customers aren't home, we'll take pictures of everything and show them pictures so they have an idea. Hopefully, I think in the future, and probably in the near future, I think we're going to put cameras on guys, just to kind of start seeing what's a lot more systems and how things work, where we can put it on our website so people have a better idea. I mean, I watched that guy on TikTok, Dominic Rhodes. He's the Poor Pumper Society. I got to meet him at the conference. Great guy. I love him. And he's had a good following. And I think it's important, even with word of mouth, but with technology in this younger generation that's coming up, they're going to be buying their homes and they're wanting to see that. They enjoy that. The older generations is like, I don't even want to be on the phone. They still got the flip phone, They do, so we've got to change with all that. We've got to watch all of it. We've got to see the older generation, the next generation coming up. We've got to stay ahead. And if we don't, we'll be stagnant. And that was another thing that why we went. I didn't want these companies that are coming in right now. We've had, I think, 20 in this area here in the last year. We've got people coming from Arizona, California. We've got people that are seeing the bottom line number of what an invoice can be or what they make during a week and think, oh my God, they're getting rich. And I'm going to start my own company. So we've got a lot of people going out and starting companies. And they don't understand what the overhead is to get to that bottom line number. Right. It's expensive. There's a lot. These trucks are expensive. Hydraulic oil, fuel, we've doubled in fuel prices this year, but we haven't brought up, or we've actually gone down on pricing for a summer special because we understand fuel pricing right now. And we've kind of doubled our fuel bill so far, and it's really hurt us. But at the same time, we want to make sure we're not trying to hurt the customer because they're feeling it too. So we're just trying to do everything we can to stay involved, stay here, help the customer, bring awareness about their septic. A lot of people, you have a septic for 25 years. Well, they've already redone their kitchen. They've redone the bedroom. They've redone this, but that septic's never been touched. And if you could just get people to understand, hey, we don't want you to wait 20 years, then fix everything. If you maintain it over a period of time, it's less money out of your pocket right then. You can just kind of pay a little bit, but you have to take care of it. It's just one of those things. It does get expensive, and it gets expensive quick if it's not being taken care of. So we're trying to get that to people. Just, hey, start fixing a little bit here, there, maintain it. If you really clean it out, if people will stay on a schedule and get it cleaned out, these systems work a lot longer. They don't make pumps and things like they used to. We've gone to pumps where they lasted 20, 25, 27 years is the longest one I've seen last. They don't make that anymore. It's just one of those things. You can't buy products that are going to last. It's just on anything we buy nowadays, they don't. So what we have to do is make sure that you maintain your system well, so those parts like the aerator and the pump work a lot longer, because they are going to fail. I'm not saying it's going to fail soon, but it's just one of those things. They don't make crap like they make crap is what they do, and I think everybody knows that. No matter what you go to, so. We try to explain that to customer. Hey, this is what the lifeline probably is it, but if you get it cleaned out, that lifeline will get up
Mhm.
to there. But if you don't maintain it, you're going to shorten the lifeline of that product.
I love what you're saying about staying professional, tucking your shirt in, the way that your guys are approaching the homeowner, the way that they're communicating with them. So I really hope that all the other owners that are listening to this actually have their guys listen to this, because I think you said in the beginning that you're a leader, but I also feel like you're a coach. And I think that's just such good coaching for people that they don't always realize or understand. I have one of my clients actually has a hair cutter, like a barber, come in once a month and just shows up and cuts all the guys' hair, anyone who needs a haircut, and then they pay her and she leaves and all the guys are clean cut all the time. So
Love
that's
it.
just, and one of those ideas of, going above and beyond. And I think actually it's not easy to stand out. It's not, I'm not, I had said that the wrong way. It's not hard to stand out because so many people are just doing the bare minimum. And so if you go the next level to be exceptional, to show that you respect what you do and you take pride in what you do, the customer is going to understand that.
And they can see that, and they can see it in the guys' faces that they're out there. If they get a little, if they're out there with them, they get a little doo doo on them or something. And it's just like, they're not freaking out. They're being professional. It's
Yeah.
just one of those things. It's the business that we're in. Just be professional. You're
Mm.
there to help the customer. You got to understand that they're going through. There's a lot of customers that don't have the money. That this is a big fix for them. But you just got to talk to them, and we'll do what we can to try to alleviate some of the money issues. We've taken payments before. So we're doing everything we possibly can. We understand it's expensive, but it can be a lot more expensive if you don't take care of the system. So just trying to get that out there to people. Hey, just maintain it. It's not like it used to be, because even the old school, I've been to systems where they've never cleaned it out, 48 years. And then their systems failed. Why is it failing? It's always worked. Well, because you never cleaned it out. And then you get in there,
Mhm.
it's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be here for a while. So it just that old school mentality. Even when they put these installs back then, oh, you'll never have to clean it. And a lot of people still understand that. The old school people still think that they don't have to clean it. We still get calls all the time that we've never cleaned our system, and now it's failing. And I was like, well, if you'd have cleaned it and maintained it, I mean, you've gone a long time, you've saved money, but you want that system to last as long as possible. And if you're just taking care of, just like a car, it's an oil change.
Yeah.
You can drive old oil in your car. It's just not good for it. Something's probably going to happen. Well, same thing this. We want to come in, change your oil in your system, start fresh, and then go from there.
So shifting gears a little bit, what is the hardest thing you faced in this business and how did you tackle it? What did you learn from it? How did it make you grow?
I think right now is, like I said, with all the companies coming in, they're undercutting. This is what we're facing, and everybody's facing. And I've talked to a lot of owners that have been around a long time in the septic business, and these people are coming. I don't know how they're making money, but they're cutting in $150, $175 lower than everybody else just to get the job. And I don't know how well they're doing it, but I just, that's the hardest thing right now is that we're trying to deal with. Is you have a lot of customers that are calling, they're just price checking.
Yeah.
And they're not going off the experience the company has. They're going off the cheapest person. And when you go with the cheapest person, unfortunately, you're going to probably get the cheapest work.
Right.
It's just what it is, especially septic. We go behind companies all the time. Well, we just had them out here. We go out there, they left all the sludge. They're just pumping liquid, you know? So they're only getting, instead of pumping 1,000 gallons out, they're pumping 500, maybe 600 gallons out, leaving it in there because it's cost effective. So that's the biggest challenge right now, is really getting the girls in the office to be able to explain to customers, hey, we're not a pumping company, we're a cleaning company. We may be more than others, but we take care of our business. We're going to take care of you. You can look at our Facebook, reviews, our Google reviews. We've been around 54 years. If we weren't very good at this, I promise you would have been gone a long time ago. So, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying not, and that's another reason why we went and shifted to the installs and maintenance, because of all these companies coming in. And it's been saturated so much. If we would have stayed just a cleaning company, we would lose business over time. It was just, I mean, it's just going to be, I don't want to be obsolete. I don't want to be the Kodak film who had the opportunity to get the digital camera. And they said, no, we make film. That's all we need to do. And they were obsolete because they didn't grow. They didn't see the big picture. I'm trying to look at that. You know, I talked to the guys. You know, like I said, we're transparent here. Hey guys, what do y'all think? What do you think about this? What do you think? We bounce ideas. It's just not me running. It's all of us running this together. You know, it's kind of, it's not last names or blood, but we are a family, you know, and they see where we're growing with this and they want to be a part of it. So being transparent about what's going on, what we're doing with your employees, I think that's a big deal because I've been to companies, they don't want to let you know. Don't tell them anything. Just kind of keep a secret. And the guys are left out. They don't know what's going on. Well, are we closing? Are we moving? Are we making money? What do we need to do? Here, we're open.
Yeah.
I want them to know this is where we're at. We need to get better at this. This is where we're got a little bit too much overhead. Let's work on this. Let's try not to do this. Fuel's expensive. Guys, make sure you're going to the right. Go to this Walmart down here, you know, and get diesel because it's 30 cents cheaper than everybody else. Try not to go to a truck stop. You know, I'm trying to find ways with hydraulic oil. We're always looking for cheaper things to try to cut that overhead out because this is expensive. It's an expensive business to get into for owners that are coming in. It's not when we do a lot of business, but we've been around a long time. You know, some new companies that are coming in, they will have to go small because they have no experience with it. So they have to go cheap. So they do that cheaper price just to get in the door. Then hopefully 3 or 4 years later, you get another job. And that's the thing about this business. We don't go to the same. It takes 3 years to go back to a customer sometimes, you know, or 5 years if they go over the limit of what they're supposed to be doing. So you really have to build a big customer base in order to have jobs coming in every day. And it takes a long time for that. You know, and if you're one of those companies that just kind of do half-ass stuff right off the bat, you're not going to last. You've got to do it right. And you know, and I think I want to get all of them together. Look, hey, we need to figure out a price because I don't think people realize when my guys go out there, this is not just waste. Okay. This is bacteria. This is diseases. This is so many different things that we're going out to your home, taking it away from you. And now we're having to go to the disposal with it and get rid of it. And I don't think people think of it. They just think septic. It's just septic. No, it's a wastewater treatment plant. And the thing about a lot of these places that we go to, their pump's not working or they don't have chlorine in there. And you have to really explain to them about, we have stickers on our truck called Water is Life. Our water supply is very, very important to all of us, you know. And if someone's not maintaining their septic or their pump's not working or they don't have the aerator's not working, but their pump's spraying out and they don't have any chlorine. No, they're spraying wastewater out in the ground. Well, it can get into our waterway and get into wells, or a bird can come in, get into it, get sick, take it to another bird. Bird flies off. Guess what? We start spreading diseases that way. It's important that people understand this is very important in your backyard to make sure you maintain and take care of it. So we're protecting the environment. So we're protecting the future. It's very important. I don't think people really dive deep and really think about it in that way. It's just a system in their back, but we need to. It's very, very important for the way our way of life. So, you know, if for people to look at it, make sure you're explaining that to your customers. This is very important to get this fixed. We have to get it fixed so we don't have raw sewage. So your kids are not getting into it. Your dog's not going out there licking it and then coming back into the house and licking you. There are certain diseases in there that can get you really, really sick. So I just want people to know this, take care of your system. You know, whether you use us or use somebody else, just make sure you get it done and take care of it.
And it's getting done right is really important.
It's getting done right.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if you could only you've given so much really rich advice, but if you could boil it down to one piece of $1 million advice that you would give someone who's looking to grow in the industry, what would that piece of advice you give them be?
Just be honest with your customers. Be honest. Be good. Be a good person. Don't go in there. Don't think you're just going out there to make a quick buck and to try it because you won't last. Yeah. Be out there, do a good job, learn your profession. Don't just think you're going out there and you're just going to pump or you're just going to put these wires. You can learn about the systems, how they work, why certain systems do better than the other ones, and why systems work. Why is a jet aerator and why they have a media in there? Why does the Aries do this? Why does the new water do this? Learn your systems, learn your bacteria and how it works, learn the sludge levels in each tank, learn about your job. People will get in there and doom scroll over the dumbest things on TikTok and everything else, but they won't sit there and learn their profession. There's so many things that you can learn on online. Start reading. Be good at your job. I'm the type of person, I'm 110% no matter what I do. So I can't stop. If I'm going to get into something, I am going to learn it. I'm going to be the best. And it's a challenge for the guys, because when I first came in here and there were family members, I was the type of person, I come out and get 6 or 7 jobs a day. They're only doing 4, and I'd come in here. That's all you can do. I just started, you know? So, and it was kind of talking crap to them in a way, but it's in a challenge. I want to challenge you. I want all of us to be challenge each other. You did this today. Guess what? I'm going to do better tomorrow. And then if all these people, we can all challenge each other, and it's a good challenge. It's not, any mean spirit behind it or anything, but I'm going to talk a little crap with you. Come on, let's go do this. Let's see who can do a better job. And if somebody does better, man, I'm proud. It makes me happy. And that makes me want to strive even more. So make sure you take care of your customers, take care of your employees. And your employees are what make and break you. Don't be that strict micromanager. If you have somebody that doesn't listen and just never going to get it right, it's business. Get rid of them.
Right.
Get people in there that you can trust, people that are going to do the right job. They're going to represent what you represent. I can't go out there and be with everybody, and they're not going to be me, but I want them to be as close to what I want as possible. And then I keep on moving up. They'll keep on moving up. We'll keep on getting better together. Make sure you talk to your employees. Be open with them. Let's be transparent what you got going on. Don't just keep it a secret. Just try to be as open. Think about karma. Think about vibration and frequency within your employees and within yourself. Just be a good person. And I promise you, it all plays out. You're going to have issues. There's going to be struggles. There's going to be that time when these new companies come in, they aren't able to buy new trucks. You get an old truck that breaks down, you got to understand the cost of that. And then there's lots of costs that are involved. So just before you get into it, just don't think that you see a number and, wow, we can charge this. There's a lot of expense that goes into it. So you just kind of manage your money. There's going to be times where it seems like you don't make a dime. And then there's times that you do pretty good. It just depends on cost. But if I was going to tell anybody, just like I said, take care of yourself, take care of your customers, take care of your employees. Like I said, they're going to be the ones that go out there and represent you.
Yeah.
And do the best so they can represent you well. And we do have that here. And I'm proud of my guys. I'm proud of my girls here. They're in the office. Everybody does such a good job. We all get along. It's a great place to work. And I hope everybody can have that, because I know what it's like to be at a place.
That's great. Well, this has been so helpful. I've just learned a lot from you, and I love your energy as well. I feel like I'm ready to go tackle my day after a pep talk with you. So I really appreciate you being on the podcast, Thomas. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for having me. Go to our website. We don't have the septic link up on there, but you can go to misty.burlesonsepticcleaning@gmail.com. And Misty can send you over, or you can go to burlesonsepticcleaning@gmail.com. And that's our email, or burlesonsepticcleaning.com to look at our website. You can call up here. Girls will always be here to explain something. One of us has the phone 24/7. So Ashley, Misty, or me will have the phone. We're always available. It doesn't matter if it's 2:00 in the morning, you have an issue, call us. We're here. We're here to help you. We're here to get you through it. Call Misty or the office. We'll talk to you about SepticLink, going forward and what it does. We'd love to come out and put it on for you, but we'd love to be your septic company. Just give us a call if you have any questions. And if you don't even use us, if you have a question about anything septic related, call us. Advice is free.
That's so generous.
That's just, I want y'all to know about your system, whether you use us or not. It's very important for you to take care of your system, to know about your system. We'd love to be able to talk to you, whether you use us or not. So give us a call, and we're like I said, we're always available.
Great. Thank you, Thomas.
Thank you very much.